we did earlier. The whole approach of doing business has become very different. So many times people do come and tell us that after all, my father did so great in business and he didn't go for many management program. So why is it that management program is required? Certainly, we can't say that only management people who have done the program can do well in life. It's not what we are saying. The question is, if it's something that some people have acquired over 30 years, should we take ourselves another 30 years to acquire the same thing, or can we do fast forward? Second thing is, do we learn from only our experience, or do we learn from the experience of many other people? So if the management approach is to be taken, management is something, very vague. Sometimes people say that management is a big science and all, and sometimes they say that the best manager is a mother. So in a way, mother is a manager, and it means that half of the population in the world is a very good manager. On the other hand, every year 20,000 books are written, and at least I believe more than 22 million people all over the world will be learning management, saying that it is something without which you don't even have a right to exist. So one father was calling me up and saying, मेरे लड़के को कुछ समझाओ. मैंने बोला क्या हुआ? He says that he wants to come into business and he doesn't want to study further. I said, so what? What is the problem? No, he should do MBA. But he is wanting to continue working. Why are you worried? My friends are calling me up. तुम्हारा लड़का आगे क्या पढ़ रहा है? Now, if my son is not doing MBA, then it is a kind of a big thing that my father has to listen to. So it is something that to survive today, you to do MBA. So this is what the notion that has happened. We follow Dr. Shrikant. I worked with Dr. Shrikant for 30 years. And Dr. Shrikant would say that 95% of what is talked about management is humbug. 95%. But 5% of what is there is diamond. So you take out something and you take out mining and stones and stones and stones keep coming. But then after that, the diamond comes. With diamond, you can cut the hardest material. So in management, everybody who is in MBA, you cannot say that there is no management. But it does not mean that management is something that can be left aside and it can be done without. So this is where we are. Now, since we are at the beginning of the day, it's good to share some background and all the things about this. I have been with SP Jain Institute of Management and Research for 22 years. I had been. And FME program was started under guidance of Dr. Shrikant in 97. So it's 18 years ago. Dr. Shrikant's idea was that most of the MBA people, if we are a good college, our MBA people want to go and work in corporate sector. They want to work at that time in Lever and Colgate and P&G. They were the recruiters at that time. As per Dr. Shrikant, if these people go and work in Colgate, it makes no difference to Colgate. After all, Colgate has all well-established structures, systems and all. What is required is that this management has to go to Indian businesses, because Indian whole country will grow when Indian businesses learn about management and apply that business and take it to new height. Whatever we tell, our students will not listen. They want to go and work with MNC. MNC has a glamour, MNC has a money. When I say I work for Microsoft, is a very different thing than I say Jamna Lal Dharamdas and company. So it is a big issue. So our MBAs will not go to family businesses or to Indian businesses also. So that is the reason in 97 this whole program was started. That if sons and daughters from business family learn about management, they can go to their business and apply the management in their business. Now when we started this, there was a choice. We can run like this as a normal MBA program. It is a management MBA program. But if it has to be focused to family businesses, then we have a choice, we can do it better. So that is where this idea of 1 week, 3 week came. Dr. Shrikant's background is that he was chief executive of Mukund Iron and Steel in late 60s. And late 60s was a period in India where all the labor problems were also on one side, licensing problems were on the other side, supply, whole resources were constrained. If you are allowed to produce 100 tons and you produce 102 tons, you have to pay penalty. All this was a time in which he ran the businesses. And then he went to Harvard and did his doctorate.
Okay.
So he has a blend of management theory as well as actual business running experience. He firmly believes only theory is of no use, only experience has a limitation. A combination of the two are required. And what is the proportion? So he proposed 1 week, 3 week. 1 week people will come to college, 3 weeks they will go back to business, apply in the business, discuss with the people in business and learn from the business. Now we had another problem. We all were professors. According to us, anybody who can teach in the world is only professors. So after all, if they are going to be only 1 week, how do we make sure that they continue to learn? We had tremendous skepticism. 1 week means what? By the time they will come, first they will get into centering mentally. And then last 2 days will be ready to go. So really it reduced to only 3-4 days of study. So how can it happen is what was our skepticism when the first batch was started. But then he tried to tell us about two models. One is a German education model in engineering where people study in the college for 6 months and then they have an apprenticeship in actual factory for 6 months and then college and then apprenticeship, and German engineers are no doubt extremely good in the world. He explained to us about medical education where you learn something and then you go to the hospital and look at the patient physically. So if these models are there, why not apply it in business education? Particularly this is feasible only for family businesses because other MBAs have no way to go and see. In family business program, at least you learn something, you can go and check whether what is happening in your company or not. So we started with this 1 week, 3 week model, and over the years it turned out to be the real strong point of the program. By the time people complete the program, they have a good grip of management concept and they have a good grip of their own business. So suddenly our program started performing very different than a person, son or daughter going abroad or somewhere else for 2 years MBA and then coming back and finding that they can't apply anything. And suddenly they have to start learning about business, whereas by the same time people who had done program with us already had very well entrenched into the business and they could start looking very well. So this was the logic of